15 love.
A lot of players can relate to the drill that Caroline's used, Chrissy, to improve the accuracy. Put those tennis ball cans in the corner and then try to knock them over. And she has really improved that aspect of her serve, and she's willing to go for more serves now.
She's been forced to change her game and make adjustments, though, because when she was #1 in the world for 67 weeks, just hitting a serve and starting out the point was good enough.
Nice from Halep, Chrissy. She became the aggressor, and that forehand up the line is key.
Well, we talked to Darren Cahill a lot about that, and this is what Darren would love to see her do to shorten their rallies, take advantage of those angles, because Simona Halep has a great swinging volley.
That one kissed the tape and went over, didn't it? That's strong serving from Wozniacki, and she holds. Pam Shriver caught up with Halep's coach, Darren Cahill, just a short time ago.
Well, Darren, before the finals, and you think back to the first week and all the obstacles Simona had with a sprained ankle and then winning 15-13 after facing 3 match points, did you ever imagine you'd be coaching her in this final?
Probably not, to be honest, with what she went through in the first round against Destiny with that twisted ankle. You're never quite sure how that was going to come up, but I've kind of been saying it all week. She's pretty tough, and I've seen it before in her. I don't think she gets enough credit for a little bit of the adversity that she's been through in some of the matches and how hard she has to work to win all of her matches, and she's shown us an extra gear here, the way she's been able to fight out of some tough situations. So I'm just really proud of her effort. We're here. She's here to win, do her very best, and I expect more of the same of what we've seen the last couple of weeks.
What has she learned from Ostapenko, Konta, and Sharapova? 3 losses, painful losses in a row last year in majors.
Yeah, the other 2, not so bad. The Ostapenko one hurt for sure. You're playing for a Grand Slam title, and to have a lead in that one certainly stayed with her for a while. But I think also the way she was able to rebound and continue to win matches and keep putting herself back into positions to keep challenging for that #1 ranking, and the way what she's done here as well, I think is full credit to her. So I think there's more calmness, if anything. I've noticed it a little bit in the last 24 hours that she's been here 2 other previous times before. She was pretty nervous. She's nervous, but maybe not quite as nervous as before, and she knows the way she has to play. And I think, if anything, being brave in the big moments is going to be something crucial tonight.
And finally, any other tactical things that you think are vital?
No, I won't get too much into the X's and O's. Both ladies know their games extremely well. She has lost the last 3 times she's played against Caroline, so she has to keep believing, keep attacking, keep trying to push her back behind the baseline as far as possible. Easier said than done. Caro is one of the best movers in the game, but a lot of what you saw against Angie is going to be a lot of the same tennis tonight.
Darren, thanks so much. All the best.
Thanks, Pammy.
Appreciate Coach Cahill's time. Halep, the 3rd different player that he has taken in the #1 ranking.
That's quite something. Has any other coach done that? I don't think so.
Tony Roach took Lendl, Pat Rafter and Federer to Grand Slam titles, so Darren would join him as the only one to coach 3 different players to a Slam title. But Simona up against it early. Wozniacki with 2 break points. Halep compares the matchup, Chrissy, to that of Kerber. She knows that Caroline can get everything back, so have to be prepared for the grinding rallies.
Absolutely.
Have to go for her shots. 50 winners for Halep against Kerber. An incredible number, the most she's ever had.
She will not win this match playing defense tennis.
Wozniacki, a couple of bold shots up the line, earns the break. Pam Shriver is courtside now.
So much going on down here throughout the match. I love that wherever Halep goes, she brings her fair share of Romanian fans. They haven't had much to cheer about the first 2 games, but a lot more flags. Also, it's a very hot day today. The night is comfortable, but hardly any breeze at all.
People are using programs and things to fan themselves in the crowd. It's sticky. Do you see a lot of clarity in Caroline's game plan so far?
And this is the kind of tennis we saw her play at the WTA finals in Singapore when she beat Venus Williams in the finals. She beat Simona in that tournament 6-love, 6-2, handled her quite easily. I think Caroline Wozniacki definitely has a mental edge over Simona. I mean, in her mind, I think that there are no doubts in her mind that she can beat Simona.
She told me she would watch the tape of that Singapore rout to remind herself what Simona said. I'm not watching that match. I have nothing to do with that match.
15-all.
I mean, each one is trying to be the aggressive one and trying to take control of the middle of the court right from the first shot.
That's why double faults like that, maybe not all that bad a thing. It signifies Wozniacki trying to be aggressive with this new big shot of hers.
Is the one shot, Pam, tell me if you agree with me, that's the one shot that's really been working with her, that forehand. That can be shaky sometimes and go off, but I feel like she's really clocking it really well, especially in that match against Kerber.
Well, I love the fact that what you said, Chrissy, what Jason said at the beginning, how the bigger serve of Wozniacki is going to be so crucial, and the confidence of the forehand of Halep. Those are the 2 shots we want to follow the most.
(40-13).
A calm and confident-looking start from Wozniacki. 3-love.
Alexa, please come and get it.
everywhere.
What animal is a member of genus Canis and is also referred to as man's best friend? Player 2.
Dog.
That is correct.
Don't listen.
I love sports. I just wish they could be with me always. They say you don't choose the app. The app chooses you. It is everything I could ever want in a sports companion. It can stream the games and shows that I love, and it's there whenever I need it.
That's okay.
I never thought I could find an app that loves sports as much as I do. Until now.
ESPN's coverage of the 2018 Australian Open is presented by Franklin Templeton Investments. Reach for better.
That's the casino right there on the left where Caroline is staying. She and her fiance David Lee not afraid to go down to the tables and place a small wager.
Good.
He's actually ahead for the week.
Well, they're of age.
The trophy and 4 million Aussie dollars go to the winner in this one tonight.
Billie Jean King will be presenting that trophy to the winner.
50 years after she won this title. Halep trying to get on the board.
Wozniacki is challenging the call on the right
Challenge from
pass
Caroline.
line. The ball is called in.
Good serving was a part of Halep's victory over Kerber. Part of those 50 winners, 8 aces. But that just missed.
Second service.
Right off the line.
Kind of a casual volley, wasn't it?
But you like the fact that she's coming forward and taking those volleys out of the air, the swinging volleys.
I think she senses that she's not going to win the majority of the baseline rallies, and maybe her legs are not feeling as fresh. This is tough for Halep to come out here and play Caroline Wozniacki after she just beat Angelique Kerber. She knows that what she has to do to win a point, and she has to work it, be patient, but be bold at the same time.
Well, she knows she'll have to earn it. That's for sure.
And she has had over 48 hours off. And let's face it, it was her second toughest match of the tournament.
That's right, Pamela. 15-13 and a 9-7 final set. Think about that en route to your Grand Slam final. Similar ages. Caroline a year older, turned pro a year sooner. She has 11 more titles.
Yeah, she's been more successful in her career, and if she has earned it, I think, more than Halep. Major appearances, even more so. The same in best major result. They both had some disappointing losses, which we'll talk about later in Grand Slams.
The Wozniacki's 2 U.S. Open finals, winning as the underdog to Kim Clijsters and Serena Williams, didn't win a set. Wasn't a huge surprise. Halep's close calls at Roland Garros against Sharapova, and particularly the match we've talked about last year as a big favorite against Ostapenko, definitely sting.
Both players talk about those matches that haunt them, and Caroline Wozniacki, you know, I think it was the Australian Open when she played Li Na, and she had a match point in the semifinals, and she said in the press conference that she still thinks about that match. And of course, Halep with Ostapenko. Remember Darren saying she was in tears for months after that.
Wozniacki, you're right. Said she's still haunted by that semifinal loss to Li Na 7 years ago.
I mean, she feels that that was her best shot to win a Grand Slam, and even though it was in the semifinals to play Azarenka.
Halep spending a challenge, but it's 40 love. Caroline began to walk. She thought that she had an ace.
Yeah, we've seen this happen in a few of her matches when she's been up, Caroline Wozniacki, and with a pretty safe lead.
It's often when the double faults come. That one at 40 love shouldn't make a difference, but might.
It's not just how well Wozniacki runs, it's how well she hits on the run. Taking care of her serve comfortably so far, 4-1.
Knicks Celtics at 8, Wednesday on ESPN.
From the Aussie summer to a place where it's about 75 degrees cooler. Aspen, Colorado. I think it's single digits there. Winter X continue. ABC has 5 hours of coverage, including the women's snowboard big air finals. And then later at 9 p.m. Eastern over on ESPN, coverage continues. Women's snowboard super pipe. All of it also available on the ESPN app.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Players are ready.
Simona Halep has played, she's played better when she's behind. And I don't know if she's mad. I don't know why, but she just plays with more of a freedom. Let's see if that happens here. I mean, she steps it up, doesn't she? She did that against Kerber. She did that against Lauren Davis.
That was a real mishit tentative forehand return from Wozniacki.
defense.
Yeah, the forehand is firing.
40-11.
Something happens in her brain when she's down. She's losing. She steps it up and just goes for more shots. Caroline has to be aware of that.
Strong game. And Wozniacki still up 4-2. Her dad, Peter, her coach, a former professional soccer player on the left. In fact, he got transferred to a club from Poland to Denmark, and that's where Caroline was born. She grew up in the black T-shirt. Former NBA star David Lee. They got engaged early November. Two-time All-Star, part of the Golden State Warriors championship team. So they share ideas on competitive athletics at the highest level, and Caroline credits his calm demeanor with helping her relax at a tournament. Although he's anything but calm in the box.
Well, and you have to give Peter a lot of credit. We talk often about father-daughter, coaching, parent relationships. They always haven't been successful, but this one is very successful. And coaches have come and gone, but Peter remains her main coach.
You
see the frustration. She has to be able to tolerate the errors, doesn't she, if she's going to be aggressive and go for winners.
Yes, because if she's going to go for shots, she's also going to make more errors. But Darren wanted her to be brave, start to finish.
This end is with the slightest of breezes, and also some seagulls have started to fly overhead. That's what caught Caroline's eye there.
Little extra oomph on the serve, Chris Evie. She's averaging a few miles per hour faster in this final than she has throughout the tournament.
That's great. She knows she has to. And both players, this is the one shot that has improved tremendously. They're both serving flatter and harder. More acceleration at the top.
And the first really long rally of the final goes to Wozniacki. Some brilliant defending.
Yeah, that's the kind of point we saw in that semifinal as Peter looks on against Kerber. Some tremendous tennis, using the whole court, every inch of the court.
Wozniacki
continues to take care of her serve comfortably. Leads 5-2.
New balls, please.
Rockets, Cavs, Saturday at 8:30 on ABC. Presented by YouTube TV.
Bill and Bill knew their stuff. They learned from one another.
You don't get them together in the same room.
All right, the Bill's ready.
I'm ready.
Ready. All right.
Welcome back to the 2018 Australian Open. ESPN's coverage presented by Franklin Templeton Investments.
Capping off what's been a really exciting women's tournament here at the Australian Open. Some tough battles. We've talked about some of them involving these two women. And not a single retirement which is something to celebrate when the men have been so plagued by injuries at this event.
She has a plan, but she has to execute it. And Simona Halep, her plan is to shorten the rallies, to take a strike at that first shot. She wants to end the points at the net like that with those swinging volleys.
Against most players, the forehand would have ended the point, but Wozniacki is running beautifully, tracking everything down. Stretch, not enough. That was a terrific pass on the run by Halep.
It's a terrific get. She's a great sprinter. Once she gets off the mark and gets going, she can place it well. You'd have to think Wozniacki's legs might be a little fresher, wouldn't you?
Could be. She seemed to be feeling good about
just
where she was
looking
physically.
At the matches, you know, this tournament, and looking what Halep's been through.
Certainly in the last round, Halep spent a lot more energy than Wozniacki did against Elise Mertens.
Important for, again, Halep to stay calm, because we know she can get a bit testy at times.
She's kept it together at this tournament. She talks about herself. She uses the term old Simona, new Simona. The old Simona would not have kept her calm under duress in this tournament. But you can see she's trying to calm herself right at this moment here.
Well, look at the defense of Wozniacki, but again, Halep, that is such a good play for her. Get Wozniacki off the court, come in and put that ball away. But you have to hit a sharp enough angle, or else it becomes target practice.
Game.
Halep holds, and now Wozniacki will serve for the first set. She's been so steady on serve in her last 3 rounds. Talked about that adventurous third round or second round match against Fed. Broken just once each of the last 3 rounds. That's how solid she's been on serve. She was broken serving for the match against Mertens, but didn't let it cause a spiral. Got right back on course. Impressive in that tiebreak. So she's been tough to break at this tournament.
You know, I think Serena Williams has been a big influence on the women improving their serve, because these women are all seeing how free and easy points Serena can make off her serve, and they're all going out in the practice court and trying to beef it up.
I can say something if you want me to.
Caroline asking for the chair umpire to implore the crowd to be quiet. You don't want to let outside stuff bother you when you're serving for a set, trying to win your first major title. Damn, she seems a little agitated at the moment.
Yeah, and the crowd was not that different from other times. I mean, there is more pro Simona people in here. They're waiting to do their chant. But that was not the time, you're right.
Oh boy, her very first shaky game of this final from nowhere. Halep has 3 break points, her first of the match. And here comes the crowd. That's not going to help her mood.
Another glance from Wozniacki to the chair umpire when she heard the chants.
But Halep has gotten herself back into the match.
3 unforced errors by Wozniacki, trying to steady herself right here.
She'll be Serena-like if she can do it twice in a row.
Hit that about 108. In trouble early in the game and couldn't pull back. So Halep breaks for the first time on serve in the Women's Championship.
Doing great. You look amazing.
The Egg White Grill, so you can bring on the day.
Halep battling back on serve, really just helped out by the fact that Wozniacki lost her focus in that game. Chrissy, she only had 6 errors, as we see Cahill reaction to this break. 6 errors in the first 8 games, and then Caroline had 3 in a row to go down low 40.
Yeah, and what about that 5-2 game? Simone hit 4 forehand winners. And she just goes up another level when she's down.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Quiet, please.
Now Caroline is distracted.
The crowd has really been pretty well behaved. The CMO not chance, you're going to hear that around the world wherever she plays, and it can get pretty wild.
It happens everywhere.
But it didn't happen in the Kerber match, so I think this is surprising Wozniacki, and she's let it get under her skin. She's going to be really careful because the crowd will respond with even more.
Exactly, if they know they're bothering her. Challenge, but she's walking. That would be Halep's first ace. To back.
Let's talk about her improved serve. Great placement.
Has 2 challenges remaining.
That was her fastest, Chrissy. She hit it 109.
Terrific placement.
Game.
And all of a sudden, Wozniacki missing routine shots. So Halep, you pointed out, she plays better when she's behind, has now gotten even.
She sure does, and she is the bolder of the two. 11 winners, actually 12 winners right now to 5 winners from Wozniacki. Tells me she's dictating play.
Wozniacki didn't close out the second set against Suarez Navarro, didn't serve it out against Mertens, had to use the tiebreak, and now this.
But that's been such the exception. It's been only in those positions when she's struggled that she was holding routinely until that game, that 5-3 game.
Thank you, please.
That's extraordinary counterpunching. She was being pulled all over the place, found her way back in the rally.
Love.
This match is warming up, isn't it?
Yeah,
Feels like a final now at 5-all in the first.
30-11.
Now, how important are the serves in this match right now? I mean, they're really making the difference.
40-11.
And this big first serve really gave her that opening. If she doesn't win an outright point, she does the second shot.
That's a steady game from Wozniacki. Halep now tries to force a tiebreak.
Wozniacki.
My husband's probably going to think I'm crazy. He thinks I'm going to see my sister.
Sometimes the confidence to be spontaneous starts with financial stability.
It's our dream.
See how a personalized financial strategy and access to JP Morgan investment expertise can help you.
Since being initially broken, has been taking care of her serve very well, losing just 2 points on serve. 3 love holds in this set.
Halep's not letting Wozniacki get away with these high looping ones. She's really stepping in early and punishing it.
Yep, she's jumping on top of them. Boy, she's right on the mark on those serves. I mean, she's going for the lines and she's making it.
Light for service. 30-15.
I think Caroline now has to shorten that swing a little bit and step in and do the same thing that Halep is doing. Take some time away from Halep.
$40-15.
Beautiful.
Cut off the angle, shortened her swing, just stepped in.
40-13.
That's what she needs to do, a little bit more of.
Tiebreak. The 16th set they played head-to-head, but the first at any Grand Slam and the first in any final, and now the first tiebreak set they played.
One additional time.
And the crowd, pro Halep, will get very involved in this breaker, and Wozniacki better keep her cool.
Thank you.
This crucial tiebreak.
They're both forcing each other to play better.
1-0.
Because now we're going to see Wozniacki playing more aggressively.
It's a good start considering Wozniacki had another conversation with a chair umpire before the start of the tiebreak about the crowd.
It's amazing because they've both played Fed Cup where the crowd's been entirely against them.
Agitated, swats the ball away, and looking at her camp.
2-0.
She's got to also keep her composure for other reasons. It's not the crowd, it's inside her head.
She's a fiery Romanian, but look, Jan Teriak, Ili Nastasi, Virginia Rizici.
And a few hundred people in the stadium tonight.
Challenge.
The ball is coming.
Call was correct. Halep has a third ace and come late in this set.
2-1. Wozniacki. Miss Wozniacki has 2 challenges remaining.
Now the ball kids aren't set with the balls, and this often happens in the tiebreak given the pattern of just 2 points for each server.
One. Wozniacki. Wozniacki.
Once again, Halep has to elevate her game while being behind on the scoreboard.
There she goes again.
Hard work to get the ball past Wozniacki. The importance of this tiebreak elevated by the fact that there's a strong trend in women's Grand Slam finals. 42 of the last 45 have gone to the first set winner. As the Halep fans try to get her going, they'll remember that one exception was the final in Roland Garros when Ostapenko turned it around. And there's been 2 Aussie Open finals that have gone to the loser of the first set. Clijsters and then Azarenka in 11 and 13. But by and large, it's been tough, Chrissy, to fight from behind in these major finals.
It's important, though, for Caroline Wozniacki to realize that Simona, this is a pattern with her. She just goes for broke when she's behind.
Terrific. Halep throwing herself into every forehand, and Wozniacki just running everything down.
Very little that separates these two right now. Very little.
Wozniacki, who had the early break, gave it back. Now with 4 set points.
Thank you.
Rock solid tiebreak. Wozniacki, and she is in front in this battle of players seeking their maiden Grand Slam title.
Hi, I'm Jeff. In my Johnsonville commercial, we open up in the forest. I'm eating my breakfast, and all of a sudden, a raccoon come up and asked me, "What are you eating?" Told him, "Johnsonville breakfast sausage, fully cooked." Porcupine comes in and he says, "Does that come in patties?" I said, "Yep." Wolf comes in and says, "How'd you learn to talk to animals?" And I said, "Books." And we had a good laugh about that. That's a commercial made the Johnsonville way.
Do you need more room? No, I'm good. You need more room, girls?
I'm good. You need more room, Dad?
Nope. More room if you need it. Thanks, but I'm good. Gum.
Gum? No, I'm good. Gum?
Ew, give me kale.
The Volkswagen Tiguan, the not-so-compact compact SUV.
Right now, lease a 2018 Tiguan S for just $199 a month. Now with the People First warranty. Visit VWDealer.com today.
Really compelling opening set goes to Wozniacki. After being broken at 5-3, she won her last 9 service points in the set, all 5 of them in the tiebreak. Franklin Templeton Investments presents Around the Open. Tamaya Babos and Kristina Mladenovic won the Aussie Open women's doubles title yesterday. Congratulations to Sebastian Korda from Florida, son of Peter Korda, 20 years after his dad won the Aussie Open title. Today, Sebastian won the boys singles title. Cilic, Federer, Chrissy, your thoughts on the men's championship?
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Players are ready. Thank you.
I think Cilic is playing really well, and I think Roger's going to have a tough match on his hands, because Roger hasn't been tested, and I don't know if that's going to hurt him or not.
Told me today he's feeling very fresh.
Yeah, I have to go with him, but Cilic is going to be tough.
Love.
Halep stayed pretty positive after losing that tiebreak.
Yeah, she held her temperament pretty well. That backhand's a thing of beauty, isn't it? I mean, she can go down the line, she can go cross court, short angles, deep angles. It's such a touch shot for her.
That's her first clean winner off the backhand side tonight. Forehand has been a big weapon.
She's hit more forehand winners this tournament, and Caroline's hit more backhand winners.
40 love.
They're both tough to hit winners against because they play defense so well. They're so fast. That point in the tiebreak was breathtaking. The down-the-line shots of Wozniacki.
Well, they see the ball really early, first of all, and they both have excellent footwork. I think Simona moves a little bit better than Wozniacki.
That's a close call. Talked about the breathtaking rallies, Pam. There were 4 rallies in that breaker of 12 shots or more. Of the 4, Wozniacki won 3 of them. So Halep, unlike the first set, able to hold and jump in front.
First game, second set.
Billie Jean King, you mentioned she will present the trophy to the champion here today, and she'll be a part of a special moment. 1968 Aussie Open champion.
People forget. I mean, they remember her leadership, but they forget she won 39 Grand Slam titles, singles, doubles, and mixed. It's a big number.
Sure is.
Big number in the days when players played all 3 events.
Especially when you're pioneering and starting women's tennis, women's professional tennis.
No, she wasn't pioneering. I think she would have won even more.
I had to tell Billy that I'd watched the Battle of the Sexes on the plane down here. She was pretty pleased how the movie came out. She won again in the movie.
Yeah. And I chose Bobby Riggs.
You picked him to win.
Did you watch the movie?
Yes, I did.
Did you say you did? Didn't you see my cameo? Did you miss that part?
Love.
Has to be a good feeling for her. When Caroline played the other two Slam finals, we talked about the U.S. Open. Clijsters and Serena playing such big hitting, aggressive players and falling behind a set and having to feel like it's a big mountain to climb. Different story so far tonight. Different style of match.
Let first service.
Even though that point wasn't won outright by the serve, her big first serve teed up that rally for her.
Pam, that's what she says the goal is. He knows he's not going to overpower people, but if he can set up a high percentage second shot.
She just wants to hold serve easier and not have to grind it out every single service game.
Game.
Well, she's compiling love holds here in this final like it's no big deal.
Well, and you sense Caroline's the more patient so far.
Celtics and Warriors. Maybe her fiance David Lee will be watching that one. His former team, Golden State, tonight 8:30 Eastern Time. NBA Countdown begins coverage at 8 o'clock. Games on ABC. The ESPN app also has it.
Wozniacki now is playing with more conviction. She's hitting the ball deeper. That first set gave her so much confidence.
Well, you said a good word, I think, resilience, because she had her wobbly moment at the end of this set, as she has a couple times in this tournament, and then snapped right back in and played such a good breaker.
Oh, that's a nice shot. Right.
Really just the one poor game in this match, and that's when she was serving for the set.
It's early, but boy, that was a big shot from Simona at love 15.
Oh, she has great balance, doesn't she? And great timing on her shots.
She's sending a message, Chrissy, isn't she, that she's not going to back off.
Nope. 6 out of 6 at the net. It's been successful for her. Anything mid-court or short, she has to come in.
She was at 5 for 5 for a long time, so you wonder if she's coming in enough.
Another forceful return. She's had quite a few tonight. Well placed.
That's yours.
They're both playing more aggressively than they would normally against any other opponent because they know they have to.
Nervous miss, and now Halep has to be careful.
30-14.
Had to weather a very deep return.
Yes.
Battle just to stay in the point.
playing during twilight right now. I think about how much night tennis Wozniacki's played, so much more than Halep this tournament.
Conditions can change very quickly when the sun goes down, and the temperature can drop pretty rapidly.
Oh, I wonder what it is out there now, because it was a hot day today. There's that high forehand again. She's clobbering it, just jumping on it.
Advantage Halep.
See the perspiration. It's still 90 degrees according to the app right now. Toasty.
90 degrees.
But it'll drop in the next hour.
But during the day, wasn't it? It was over. It had to be
near 100.
Yeah.
Some of the most breathtaking shots in this final has been the down the line Wozniacki backhand.
Halep has very little time to react after the serve.
Advantage Wozniacki.
Halep's mom, Tanya.
Wozniacki break point again.
Yes.
Ooh, remember that one. She looked a little slow getting to that ball. That was definitely a returnable serve.
It was a safer first serve, wasn't it? Mistimed it.
Advantage Halep.
Just long, and she still isn't out of this tough game yet. That was an opportunity.
Oh. The quality of that low volley was unbelievable right in front of me. Whew.
Yeah, but she shouldn't have missed that shot. Simona was a big chance for her.
He knows the importance. This third game of the second set feeling pretty crucial.
A little emotional there, our Darren Cahill, Coach Cahill.
He knows what this match means for his players, and I think he knows what this game means. 13th point of the game already. Wozniacki just relentless defending.
That backhand is just on today. Pam talked about the down the line backhand. That cross court is just as effective.
Third chance to break and grab the lead. She's going to serve the forehand, and that was not a very cleanly hit return, was it, Chrissy?
No.
Yes.
And when the forehand isn't accelerated, you can actually see the name of the ball flat going right past you.
No spin at all.
None.
Usually tells you that you got a little frame involved when you don't see the spin.
Fault. Miss Halep is challenging the call on the left near sideline. The ball is called out.
Eljevic from the chair called it out. Second serve.
Yeah.
Second service.
Wozniacki that point. Because Simona Halep had control of that point. But that shot right there, Caroline knew where it was going.
And the backhand again, dangerous. Another chance to break.
Is going forehand, backhand. It's really going to the open court a lot. It's like they have the player on a string. Two good points by Halep.
He played more than 10 minutes, 17 points. I mean, some of the best defending you'll see on a court, and clean winners, winning a big percentage of the points in this game.
Hi, I'm Jeff. In my Johnsonville commercial, we open up in the forest. I'm eating my breakfast, and all of a sudden, a raccoon come up and asked me, "What are you eating?" Told him, "Johnsonville breakfast sausage, fully cooked." Porcupine comes in and he says, "Does that come in patties?" I said, "Yep." Wolf comes in and says, "How'd you learn to talk to animals?" And I said, "Books." And we had a good laugh about that. That's a commercial made the Johnsonville way.
Breaking news. Reports of 2 bank trucks hit in the last 24 hours. More on this story as it develops.
We didn't crash the Camry. Why didn't we crash the Camry?
I tried. The car just stopped by itself.
Fine, we'll do it with special effects.
Oh, so that you'll do with special effects?
Lease a new reinvented 2018 Toyota Camry LE for $199 a month for 36 months. Toyota, let's go places.
ESPN's coverage of the 2018 Australian Open, presented by Franklin Templeton Investments, is brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Liberty stands with you. And the Lincoln Continental.
This hot summer evening, the game of the match so far. Wozniacki 4 chances to break, denied, but Halep had to spend a lot of fuel just to hold serve. Wozniacki, Chrissy, looks like she can run all night side to side, but should Halep drop shot her more? The movement forward didn't look quite.
No, it didn't. I mean, she broadcasted that in the last game, that just a little hesitant, not as quick up and back, and that would be a good strategy for Halep.
The fans who left after the tiebreak just now getting in missed a lot.
And Simona Halep may have just gotten a soft warning from the chair umpire. Thank you. Darren definitely came through with a signal, and then soon after the chair umpire turned around and spoke to Simona twice.
I wonder what the signal was. He definitely has given throughout this tournament the focus hands and the zip it gesture. I don't know if that qualifies as certainly not tactical.
Maybe he was telling her to keep drop shotting.
Simona then jogged back.
15
It
love.
was not a one-way conversation.
30-11.
I personally think Simona looks up for support too many times, and she needs to rely on herself a little bit more.
Well, she looks up to vent plenty of times, that's for sure.
This is the new age Wozniacki service game.
40-11.
It's very controlled, isn't it? I mean, very consistent pace. Then up 30-love. She goes for a bigger serve.
Light. Second service.
She hasn't lost a point on her first serve yet. And her serving percentage is 70% in the match. That's really, really high.
40-15.
That snapped a streak. She had 16 straight points won on serve. Going back to that hole that got her into the tiebreak. Just not used to seeing Caroline with so many holes at love against a #1 player in the world.
A big returner. This is what she started doing in 2016 when she was really playing well. Mm.
40-13. Game Wozniacki.
It's long. And Wozniacki, far more economical hold than Halep just had to get to 2-all. A reminder, this is the 43rd major for Wozniacki, the 31st for Halep, the 3rd major final for each, and a life-changing achievement awaiting the winner here. Both of them will feel like it's long overdue, and each of them, Chrissy, would say has had to silence some of the naysayers who would look at their games and say, I don't know if it's suited to be #1 or Grand Slam champion. Is there enough power? Is there enough weaponry?
They've gotten, especially Wozniacki's gotten so much criticism when she was #1 in the world for 67 weeks and had never won a Grand Slam, and people were questioning.
Part of the backdrop is that Serena's not here, of course, wasn't quite ready, but plans to return for Fed Cup and certainly plans to play the last 3 majors of the year. When she returns, doesn't the equation change?
Yes.
Everybody chasing Grand Slam titles. She will come back hungry.
Serena's going to come back to a more improved women's game in the 15 or so months she's missed.
That'll be fascinating too, Pam.
Coming back, Fed Cup, February.
Good looping forehand from Halep.
Halep's going up the chair umpire right now. And the chair umpire's reaching for the phone.
She's probably asking for a trainer, maybe.
Hi, we need a piece of Miss Halep for the next changeover, please. I think it's a hat. I'm not sure.
That'll sigh of relief for Halep. Had to battle her last service game. In front 3-2. We'll see what this visit during the changeover is about. visited the doctor and the trainer and taking her blood pressure.
And Chris, for the first time, Halep with the ice pack around her neck. Wozniacki's had it on the entire final. And whether or not the heat, you all have both mentioned this is an extremely hot evening. But this is not an injury. This is more of a medical situation.
I think she wanted reassurance that the numbers were okay, and got it there. Cahill on his feet and concerned.
Yeah, you're a little more concerned when you get the blood pressure cuff out, I think, than when you tape a toe or something like that. And I think she was referring to the last 3 or 4 games started to feel a little dizzy.
Another piece of drama in what's been an incredibly dramatic tournament. A reminder that her very first set here, she badly rolled her left ankle. Thought she might have to retire in that match. Dealt with it. She's been managing the pain since then. But in compensating for the left ankle, has been putting more weight on the right foot and has developed a slight blister on the right foot, I'm told. Nothing serious, nothing in the realm of what Chung was dealing with in retiring against Federer. But this is a different kind of concern.
Well, it all builds up. Then she played Bouchard and Lauren Davis, that tied for the longest match of the Australian Open. Osaka. We didn't even talk about Pliskova beating her, and then Kerber. She's had more grueling matches, I feel, than Wozniacki.
And just remember, when there's such tension, such stress in a match like this, heat or anything can just amplify how bad you feel.
Still 90 degrees on court, approaching 9 o'clock. As medical timeouts go, it wasn't a terribly long one. Wozniacki back to serve at 2-3. Have been taking care of her serve every game in this match except one when she had the lead. So how will she handle it if she's in a winning position on this second set?
You know, we talked about her improved serve and how she just served to get the ball in 5-6 years ago when she was ranked #1. But after a certain point, you have to reinvent yourself and your game. According to the times and the power tennis nowadays, it really is important.
So she has the height and the athleticism to have a bigger serve. I wouldn't be surprised if David Lee isn't a good influence given his size and how he's used power in basketball.
Yeah, she's got strong shoulders, strong legs, and very good technique. And you're right, a little different from Angelique Kerber, who's going to have to maybe change a few things on her serve.
I hate bringing up seagulls, but Wozniacki a couple of times when there's been 4 or 5 swirling just above the stadium, it has distracted her routine.
You're getting noisier, Pam.
Mm-hmm.
Darren Cahill alluded to me today when I asked him about the match, and he said she's really excited. Simona Halep excited, but the tank is getting lower and lower with each match.
It's sort of normal, isn't it, though?
Yeah, but again, I'm amazed at how well she's holding up with all the matches that she's played.
11.5 hours worth coming into this final. That's absurd. That's like the same as men usually.
Game Wozniacki.
Simona's going to use a challenge here. And the Davis match was the equivalent of 5 sets, basically, with 48 games played.
And that Kerber match was that was unbelievable. I mean, they left everything on the court. That ball was way out. Well, that was kind of a wasted call, wasn't it? Challenge.
She's been known to throw away some challenges. 3-all.
One jump to me.
She only has one left, and that can change your decision making at 3-all.
That's why that wasn't a very good decision to use a challenge there, right, Pam? I mean, you want to have them late in sets.
Yeah, don't waste them at 3-all. It's too early.
Thank you.
Really important for Simona Halep to concentrate on that first serve, because her second serve sitting up for Wozniacki.
Halep's not feeling well. She's going to want to shorten the points, too.
Yeah, there haven't been any long rallies since that medical timeout.
Yeah, she's taking a lot of deep breaths on that side.
But how nice is it to win a free point? 5 aces. Tape and pop back in the court. Game to Halep. She leads 4-3.
Welcome back to the 2018 Australian Open. ESPN's coverage presented by Franklin Templeton Investments.
Hope you're enjoying this first Grand Slam final of 2018. Folks, on a warm summer night, not lucky enough to have tickets, watching on the screen. And yes, the trophy is looming right there in the vision of these players. No breaks of serve in the second set. Wozniacki's had the only 4 breakpoint opportunities in that 1-all game. Here is Halep with the sit-down with that ice towel on the neck and all parts of the face.
Wozniacki was doing the same thing.
It's accumulation of 2 weeks of tough, long matches. for both these ladies. You know, it's just not about this match. It's what you bring into the match also.
It'll be a while until we see a major final between two players who fought off 7 match points to earn a spot in the final.
That's all part of the drama building up to this, isn't it? Halep would be the first to win a title after saving match points in 2 different matches.
Grabbing her left leg and put a racket on the ground there.
15-13.
The wear and tear evident, Chrissy, but it's been so rare that Halep's had a lead in the Wozniacki service game.
Yeah,
this is a point she desperately wants.
She just turned to us and looked a little out of sorts.
Clutching her leg, seems to be the left one bothering her more, but she has 2 chances to break and serve for the set.
And it's the left side that's been carrying the ankle sprain.
That can be fatigue as well as nerves cramping.
She's ailing at the moment, has the lead and a chance to force a final set. No celebration from Coach Cahill, obviously concerned about what he sees right in front of him.
You know, I've seen players bring drinks to the back of the court. She should be doing that now.
Thank you. Lucky team.
There's no drop in serve speed. That last serve right at her average, 100 miles an hour. Smartly making Halep run a lot.
I was just wondering if Caroline Wozniacki is aware. I'm sure she is of what's going on the other side of the net, but that's a good play. Just keep moving her. Simone, on the other hand, has to keep the point short and take more chances.
When your legs are feeling tired or sore, I guess the changing of the direction, Chrissy, would be the hardest thing.
The hardest thing, and just to keep them moving.
Wozniacki was in this position trying to finish the first set at 5-3 and couldn't do it. And now Halep faces 2 break points.
Both of these ladies have shown just in these 2 weeks such heart and competitive.
Wozniacki had to look back at the line there. That second serve was very close. Still break point. 2.
Well, we've seen second and third wins before. We've seen that from this young lady this week in a couple of matches.
Advantage, Halep.
Set point. Chance to finish it, and it flew.
Thank you.
Had Wozniacki leading the wrong way. Didn't have to be a great shot.
Yeah, she was making those all week.
For service.
A couple of marathon service games this set has taken a lot out of Halep, but that's why she's blasting away.
Well, you have to have fresh legs, Pam, if you're playing in a match like this against these two baseliners.
I don't know if they'll feel fresh, but they won't feel as tired if she can win this point, get to a third.
Carolines are feeling pretty fresh right now. Caroline knows what she has to do. She senses Halep's tiredness.
Out.
Oh,
Miss
Halep's
Halep
going to use her last one if she's not correct.
Buying a little time, perhaps. Call was correct.
Advantage.
Break point.
Wozniacki.
And Halep has saved 7 for 7 break points in the set.
So much tension from Wozniacki. She could not hit either one of those balls.
Yeah, she's maybe a little too thinking about what's going on the other side of the court and not just playing her game right now.
Advantage, Halep.
A third set point. Champion. One of these women one set away from win of a lifetime. A grueling second set. A break is allowed in the rules, and Halep is headed off the court. Wozniacki will follow her. The final set of this Grand Slam final coming up from Melbourne.
Welcome back to Melbourne Park. It's a hot and steamy night. We've had two great sets of tennis. Simona Halep, Caroline Wozniacki. About an hour and 42 minutes, and yet no closer to deciding a champion as we'll go one in final set. It's 85 degrees. Keep in mind, it's about 20 after 9 local time. It's been a very hot, very humid day, and before the players walked on court, they were told the Australian Open extreme heat policy is in effect. This takes in humidity as well as temperature. And because it's in effect, there is a 10-minute break allowed between the second and third sets if you reach that point in the match, which we have. So the players have walked off court, and they know they have 10 minutes to gather themselves, bring down the body temperature, and get ready for this one final set. Again, there is no tiebreaker, but of course, no needing to remind Simona Halep of that rule at this Australian Open. I'm Chris McKendry, back with Bethany Maddox-Sands and Jason Goodall. Before we get to this great tennis that we've seen, very aggressive from these two players who are known for their great defense, let's talk about this 10-minute break and how it might help Simona Halep, who was struggling physically, calling out the trainer in the second set.
Definitely. She was grabbing her leg a little bit, and you wonder if she's hydrated. It's hot and humid out there. Is there cramping, something like that? But you get the 10 minutes to regroup, rehydrate, and I think, like you said, both players have been playing really aggressive, which is kind of what we talked about in the beginning. They're known to be really good defensive players. They can move really well. It was about who was stepping in a little bit more, and I think Woz did a really good job closing out that first set. Halep brought it back to 5-all, and she still remained calm and collect. That's why she's #1 in the world before, and Simona got that second set. Really exciting tennis, though.
No doubt about that. And I think maybe the conditions have caught the women off guard, because it's very different playing at night in very humid conditions. And we saw the first hot day that we had in the championships here. That's when we saw the players really struggling to come to terms with it. So I think it's just different circumstances. It's not like they're not fit enough. I know Simona's played an awful lot of tennis, but I think it's that and the tension of the moment that perhaps is causing her now to break down a little bit.
Yeah, and those first couple of days of extreme heat that we had in the first week, they weren't as humid as it is today, and that's what's lingering throughout the night. But let's take you through the highlights, because this is uncharted territory. One of these ladies is going to win her first Grand Slam, but to get there, they have to go where they're not comfortable, and that's being aggressive. This is early in the set.
Definitely, and you see Wozniacki just moving so well, covering the court from the baseline and then finishing up at net. That's where I like to see her. Even though she's a great baseliner, close that out there.
Yeah, I thought Simona started a little nervously. She's got to get that balance right between hitting the right amount of winners and not making too many unforced errors. Remember, against Kerber, it was 50 and 50. Today, a lot of unforced errors came early, but then she started to step up the court and take the ball on, particularly with the forehand.
Definitely, and one thing that I've noticed Caroline doing really well is she's playing down the line against Simona. When she gets inside that court, she, instead of using the angle, because Simona actually likes to guess cross court, she'd go in line and then finishing with swing volleys like that one.
And there was
this is set point.
Yeah, there was a little bit of a wobble, wasn't there, from Caroline late stages of the set, but in the tiebreak, she couldn't have played it any better. It was absolutely outstanding, and she deserved to win that opening set.
In the second set, Simona came out and she held serve to open the set, something she didn't do in the first set.
Definitely, and you see Simona right here is on top of the baseline, and that's where she knows she needs to be. And even though Woz, I mean, that's just Woz movement right there, getting that winner from behind the baseline on that backhand.
Yeah, and I think, again, it was pretty difficult for Simona to try and get on top of the rallies, because Wozniacki is so good at full stretch, but again, the forehand in corner to corner. But this is the first time, Chris, that we saw that she started to feel a little uneasy.
And that prior point saved a break point, something Simona did incredibly well the second set.
Definitely, and Wozniacki is just going to keep moving well, but getting caught back a little bit behind the baseline right now, and that's why Simona was able to get this set point right here.
And then this was set point in the second set. The third time, Wozniacki had messed up off the drop shot by going cross-court with the forehand. The first couple of times she missed it there. Very simple ball into the open court for Simona. Now, I thought this was interesting. We talked prior to the match about Wozniacki using the wide serve in the tournament so far. You can see that on the left of your screen, 37% there. But today, a little change in tactics and not using that serve as much. Look at that, just 10% and 42% on the right of your screen. And I think one of the main reasons for that, Bethany, is remember how great Simona's backhand return was against Kerber in the semi-final. Being left-handed, she just kept slicing that serve out wide, and Simona was crunching that thing cross-court and opening up the court with it. So I think today that's a very sensible game plan that she's executed well.
Definitely. I think she'd made a great adjustment there, and possibly because she was watching that match against Kerber.
Well, Caroline's taking the court once again. The 10-minute break is just about up, and Caroline's going to serve to open this third and final set. Again, no tie break. Buckle up. It should be a good one. Let's get you back down now to Chris and Chrissy.
All right, thank you, Chris. We love to talk about tactics, what's worked, what hasn't worked. But so much of this final set will just be about toughness and heart. And these players have shown a lot of it just to get to this championship match. Talked about how having to dig deeper physically, having the injury back in the first set. Wozniacki's had to manage her emotions. The roller coaster has been there a couple of times, and she's been able to steady herself.
Yeah, I mean, we expected drama in this match.
Who can hold serve more economically? Who can burn less energy to take care of their serve? That may be the crucial point.
And Chris, how much will that 10 minutes help reinvigorate Halep, who, despite not feeling well, played a great end in that second?
I mean, they both need their legs.
Find your seats, ladies and gentlemen.
Simona Halep was
Thank you.
looking like the legs were fading a little bit.
Final set.
Good play for Simona also to hit behind Caroline Wozniacki as Caroline runs better to the open court.
You know, spectators all over the stadium, more and more. It's almost like the humidity is increasing as the sun has gone down, and there are a ton of people fanning themselves, and to be honest, it's visually a little difficult.
Well, neither player expected an easy match.
15-13.
What they've each gone through to get here, the battles. It's only fitting that this be a difficult physical and mental test with so much at stake for each player. It's a good recovery from left 30.
I mean, the best scenario would be for both players to play their best tennis. I mean, they deserve to play their best tennis this third set, the way they've competed this whole tournament. Halep is backing off the baseline a little bit the last couple points.
Maybe some wear and tear there. The balance wasn't there as she tried to come forward.
And then she plays points like that. She looks fresh as a daisy.
She has to channel her best points like she did against Kerber.
Well, at this point in the third set, the finals of Grand Slam, you're playing on adrenaline. Oh, they're having a bird fest up there.
About a dozen of them.
Advantage, Wozniacki.
No drop in her serve pace. That's among her fastest serves at 109.
It's one of those out wide ones Jason was talking about. She's missed most of them.
Wozniacki gets off to a positive start in the final set and has to work forward a bit.
First game, final set.
Both of these players, the current #1 Halep in her 31st major. Two close calls at Roland Garros in the final. Wozniacki, her 43rd appearance in a major. So that's basically 11 years of traveling around and playing in the majors.
That's what makes it such an exciting final. I mean, for me to see the joy on the winner's face.
Yvonne Goolagong using one of those fans that Pam was talking about. Won this title 4 times.
Oh, she was in my era. She's the most beautiful tennis player to watch.
She was offered some water. She said, no, I don't need that water. Tough Aussie. Important to see how sturdy Halep's legs look in this first service game. Chrissy, is she able to push up? Is she able to get enough on the serves?
We'll be watching that, but also I'm watching her take the full 25 seconds in between points. She has to really manage her time well in between points, and again, mentally and emotionally stay calm, because that uses up a lot of energy.
Moved well to the first wide ball. The second one, she knew she had to pull the trigger.
There are no legs in that second serve there, Chris, what you were talking about.
Yeah, one of her softest, that second serve just at 74. The average first serve speed early part of the set, it's down about 5 miles per hour from what she was doing earlier. Wozniacki asking, was the serve good? Iljevic said, I think it was.
Yes.
Wow, that was even slower.
Yeah, that's under 70 miles per hour.
She's still rushing, it just seems like it. Halep.
Wow.
I mean, if I were her, I would be taking the full 25
Advantage,
seconds.
Halep.
A couple points she did, but some points she just goes right back, ready to serve.
Her instincts are to rush, aren't they, when she's under pressure?
She's so used to it.
Deuce.
It's wide. The challenge from Halep. She swats at the court.
The ball's pulled out.
She'll get a little time to cool off. This challenge thrown away. And Wozniacki, break point. Halep saving all 7 that she faced in that set, the second set.
She's running out of gas, Chris.
Serves like that won't get it done. Wozniacki hadn't returned great in that game early, but that soft second serve was there to be hit, and she has the first break of the final set.
But still on alert. Caroline Wozniacki cannot let up for a second, because we've seen these matches turn around with Halep.
Thank you.
She's trying to make the points shorter, but as long as Wozniacki's going to hit deep and with good placement, it's going to be hard for Halep to play that game. Still fighting, still trying to find a way. Simona Halep. That was one big forehand.
And that's her only choice, Chrissy.
15-13.
Unload and shorten the points. Just slid wide. At least that's the call. Wozniacki will challenge.
And another blast of a return.
Yeah.
Took time away, and this did miss. So each player losing a challenge early in the set. Break points. Not able to stretch. She played 2 one-handed backhands. The return in the next ball.
Yeah, started with a big first serve from Wozniacki. Well, 2 big serves from Caroline Wozniacki. In trouble, down 15-40.
Yes.
That's the part of her game, again, that's improved so much.
Advantage, Wozniacki.
Cahill urging her to just hang in there. This would be frustrating, having had 2 chances at 15-40. Wozniacki very sturdy in these last few points.
Yes.
You just have to admire her. She just keeps plugging away, and you know how she's feeling.
This is the new Simona that she's talked about.
13 hours and 34 minutes worth of competitive tennis. What does she have left?
She's won a point, but she's had to track down a drop shot. That might be the first one tonight. Halep punched over right in front of us in the bunker here.
Wasn't a bad play, though, from Halep. But, you know, the next shot, she hit it right to her.
Halep trying to regroup, was bent over, keeping Wozniacki waiting just a bit here. Point for 3 love. All athletes will say that sometimes they have a lot more than they realize. You guys tell me about trying to have your mind trick your body into thinking that you've got enough energy to get to the finish line.
Sometimes you think you're down and out, and then you get that surge of adrenaline, or you get that surge of desire or hunger, and you're right back in the match. And I've seen players get it 2, 3, 4 times in a match.
Well, Simona has talked about exactly that. She thought a couple times, in her words, against Kerber, the power was gone. No more power. And then she found a little more.
And Davis. She said that also. Lauren Davis.
Well, in that match, she said, I was almost dead, in her words.
Oh. And by the way, sometimes a crowd can change it, too.
Think Chang Lendl at the French Open. I think Sampras beating Correia at the U.S. Open.
Break point number 3. You see that coming in about an hour and a half more time on court for Halep. Those two really extended final sets.
Stress time counts as double, doesn't it?
These players are both showing a whole lot of heart.
They sure are.
You don't see Darren get up out of his seat this much in a tournament. He's done it more in this match, trying to offer what he can from the players' box. Another chance for Halep to get back on serve. Till this game, she had played the 3 longest service games of the match. She had to play a lot more points in her service games than Wozniacki did.
Yeah, Simona Halep is, I love her attitude out there. You're right. She's taking ownership, and she's, you know, thinking within herself, not relying on others.
And she's missing, Chrissy, she's missing long now, trying to finish the swings as weary as she is.
But that's her only chance.
Halep's going to use another challenge, hoping the serve missed.
And if she misses, she'll be down to 1 again.
If she's right, it's going to be second serve at deuce. And this one will be overturned. So good use of the challenge and the second serve coming.
Second serve.
There's so many things in this long game to remember, but that 5mm out first serve is certainly one of them, as Halep has created a 5th chance to break.
And second serves are being punished on both ends.
Yes.
Another miss long. Left Halep a target up the line.
Yeah, that's showing a little bit of inexperience on the volleying of Caroline Wozniacki. Most of the players still love going in on the high swing volleys, but then when it comes to anticipating and having instincts at the net, they don't come in enough to have that trait.
Fall ends the marathon game on her 6th chance to break. Halep is given the break, and we're back on serve. Hope you'll join us this time slot 24 hours from now, early Sunday morning / late Saturday evening. The first men's Grand Slam final of the year as Roger Federer goes for his 20th major title, his 6th down under, and Marin Cilic tries to avenge that heartbreaking for him loss in the Wimbledon final to Federer when the blister prevented him from giving his best. Well, Chrissy, a lot to unpack from that last game. You think Wozniacki, if she holds there, that might have broken Halep's will and broken her legs down, and the title would be right there for her. But she couldn't close the game.
I believe at 3-love that would have been the match for Wozniacki. I agree 100% with you.
Behind Halep, just so many people trying to scramble in. That is the first change of ends in this final set.
They've missed 26 minutes of enthralling play since that 10-minute timeout after the second set. What is she not doing on the shots when she's pushing them long? Is it not staying down on them?
Simona? Mm-hmm. It's fatigue. It's just she's just tired. I mean, sometimes you're not thinking when you're so tired.
Look at that swing volley decel on the forehand. These early forehands for Wozniacki, this game crucial.
It sure is, Pam, especially the way Wozniacki's been serving.
Halep hasn't won a second serve point in the early stages of the set. 0 for 6. Wozniacki pounces again and has 3 break points to go back in front by a break.
Sensing what's happening on the other side of the net, Wozniacki right now.
Game
Wozniacki. The first serve just not there, and the second serve there to be hit. And Wozniacki right back to the service line, up 3-1. 67 weeks, 2010 and 11. She was twice #1 at the end of the year.
She was criticized for being #1 and not winning a Grand Slam back in the day because she was just playing so many weeks and not peaking at the Grand Slams, not really paying a lot of attention to her schedule. You know, the players thought she was just playing a lot of tournaments, accumulating a lot of points, and that was one of the reasons why she was #1.
Please.
What's going through the mind when the body's obviously weary? The biggest achievement of your life is in front of you. What are you trying to tell yourself? What are you trying to not to tell yourself?
When you're Halep, I think you just want to jump on any opportunity. You just have to be alert to anything that's relatively short or soft.
And if you're Wozniacki, it's the racket head speed. Even as she tries to do something she's never done before, she's got to stay brave, and with that is the acceleration.
So it's the technical things that come into your mind, remind yourself, not the bigger picture stuff.
I think it's moving your feet more than anything. Everything starts from the ground up. I used to tell myself, move your feet and accelerate the racket. That's good.
Halep, The legs have to be screaming, but she's running down shots and going for them. Wozniacki's assured that it was long.
I think Wozniacki's feeling the nerves more so than Halep. I think Halep is just feeling her body right now.
2 break points to get back on serve. That's a tired-looking miss, a 4th break in this final set. And Simona Halep has crawled back on serve. Wozniacki still up 3-2. Running down shots and going for them. Wozniacki's assured that it was long.
I think Wozniacki's feeling the nerves more so than Halep. I think Halep is just feeling her body right now.
2 break points to get back on serve. That's a tired-looking miss, a 4th break in this final set. And Simona Halep has crawled back on serve. Wozniacki still up 3-2.
Lovely starshine lights my way to bed. Magic rainbows glisten in my head. Just like a child, I live in wonderland. All my dreams are coming true.
Because sometimes your mind is on things other than the road. Toyota Safety Sense comes standard. The 2018 Toyota Corolla. Lease a new 2018 Toyota Corolla LE for $179 a month for 36 months. Toyota, let's go places.
Well, you talked about adrenaline. You talked about drawing on whatever you can, the fighting spirit with what's at stake here. Halep has twice been down a break and got back. And again, Darren gives that focus symbol. That worked against Kerber. He gave the focus and then the zip it because he wanted her to stop talking back to the box.
He hasn't needed to use the zip it today.
No,
She's been on her best behavior and taking full accountability for her own tennis.
Well, maybe, Chrissy, she's sensing that she doesn't have much energy left, and it's just wasted. It's wasted if you're going to be getting agitated at your camp.
Negative energy. You're absolutely right. Even positive energy is a little wasted, too. You know, you don't see any of the players celebrating when they hit great shots because they're saving their energy.
Halep is challenging the call on the right baseline. The ball's called out.
It's such a struggle with the tired legs and perhaps the nerves to get the serves going. And in this final set, these players have been far more breakable. And she is going to lose that.
Yeah, and the arms feel heavy, legs feel heavy.
Some energy for that rally. 17 shots.
15-0.
That backhand side of Wozniacki, though, has been bulletproof this whole match. I think Simona Halep needs to start hitting more to that forehand side. Remember, Wozniacki's had trouble closing a few big matches this tournament.
Well, we've talked a lot about the fight back, but you're right. It was trying to close out Suarez Navarro in straight sets. Couldn't do it.
That's you.
Had to win it 3.
Yeah.
Burton's.
Go ahead, Pam.
I was going to say, those occasions are minuscule compared to this one.
Wow, point to even the match for Simona Halep.
That forehand was so close to missing, and she got a little lucky because Wozniacki's return hit the tape, and that gave her time to react. And she has, Chrissy, battled back to 3-all. That did not seem likely 10 minutes ago.
Wozniacki had point for 3 love.
And now she's coming to the net and pointing to her left knee. And so the chair umpire is turning to the trainer and the supervisor.
So after this game, she will be visited apparently by the physio.
Totally understandable the way these two have gotten this far.
The forehand's gone, the conditions worse, and Halep has found another gear.
Love the keys. First time she's been up this set. Simona Halep is going to get some more energy now, and she's going to get some more adrenaline, and she's liking the place she's in right now, this position. 3-all, up 30 love.
Thank you.
I think we may see a little more lively Simona Halep right now.
You're right. I mean, sometimes we talked about it. You find some energy reserves you didn't think you had. Adrenaline is part of that. Knowing what you've put in your whole life to try to get in this position to win this title. It's Wozniacki now that has to kind of get out of a lull. Did you feel from her end it's a little low energy?
The first time that Simona's been up in this third set. And Wozniacki may sense Halep's fitness, but Halep senses Wozniacki's nerves. And the fact that she couldn't close that third set.
And the fact that she has called for a trainer to deal with something apparently at the end of this game.
It's getting more heated with every point, isn't it?
Telling herself to think, and she told herself to move forward on the ball, not let it play her. Good recovery from love 30. just 77. Both players know that their best chance at avoiding a grinding rally is to attack the second serve, and they're doing it.
Softest shot they're going to see in a rally is the second serve.
First service.
So the second serve points won by the match. It's lower for both players in the third set.
And very few free points recently for Wozniacki, something she's counted on with her serve during the whole tournament.
No. It's an uncharacteristic miss up the line, and Halep has a chance now to break again.
First sign of nerves in a match, moving and serves.
No, the forehand hooks wide. Suddenly it's Halep with some pep and the lead. A break 4-3.
ESPN's coverage of the 2018 Australian Open is presented by Franklin Templeton Investments. Reach for better.
Wozniacki's turn to take a medical timeout. They're examining her left knee. Halep had her timeout. She was feeling unsteady midway second set, had the blood pressure taken, but came right back out there. Wozniacki, they will now, having finished the evaluation, take the 3-minute medical timeout. Concern on her father's face, and they'll apply some tape. Pam, have you seen anything from courtside specifically about her movement that would indicate that the knee is a problem there?
Well, just when she was very clear that what was bothering her at the beginning of that long last game, it's just that, to me, the whole tension of Wozniacki has changed. The forehand has become a decel shot again, and that's always been what's held her back through the years. So now she's got to figure out physically if she's okay and figure out if her weak link, her forehand, is still there, and get free points still with a serve. So all of a sudden now, edge towards Halep, and who would have thought that 45 minutes ago?
That's why we love when you guys break down the different aspects to this sport, where you're out there by yourself, very lonely, and the X's and O's and the tactics and the strategy are important, but sometimes just fighting and telling yourself those little lies, Chrissy, as you said, you're trying to convince yourself that you still got something left. And boy, all that's gone into this for both of these women throughout their whole careers, throughout this whole tournament, it was never going to be easy today, was it? It just wasn't destined to be straightforward, and they are pushing each other, and it's a treat to see the test.
I mean, I think the fans, and I mean, I know I'm glad, and I think the fans are glad, and it would be disappointing if it was an easy match. But right now, I mean, there's a point that I thought Simona was playing on fumes and a prayer. You know, it was that dismal. She was really looking like the fitness was affecting her. But as we've seen in this tournament, nobody can doubt her fight. She keeps coming back and back and back, and she has second wind and the third wind and the fourth wind, and she's just been unbelievable this tournament. And trust me, I've always been a little critical of her fight in the past when mentally I've seen her give up in matches. But in the last year, with the help of Darren Cahill, I haven't seen that at all, and that is a huge improvement, and that could win her this Grand Slam.
points. Wozniacki saved her 2 match points. Let's remind you how close Halep was to the exit. What would have been a crushing loss in the 3rd round against Lauren Davis. And this would have been a massive disappointment. And at 10-11, love 40 after she'd failed to serve it out 3 times. You just wonder what was left, and a lot apparently.
Yeah, it was tough for Lauren Davis also, but in the semifinals here, oh my heavens, was this a great match? Or Halep and Kerber.
Yeah, this is Kerber had 2 match points on her serve, and Simona said, just keep telling yourself to go after the ball, forget the score. And she did hit the ball and took those 2 match points away from Kerber, but eventually would win at 9-7. 2 grueling extended sets to get here.
She's played her best tennis when she's been down match points and when she's been behind matches. And I think Caroline, is she coming out on the court now?
Yeah, she is. She's got that left knee wrapped, and she's headed out, but she is now down a break. And that timeout has given Halep perhaps a little time to conserve whatever energy she has left to put the legs into these serves.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Players are ready. Love 15.
Looks to be moving okay.
What a point. Level, the standard is superior. What about the will to win for each of these young ladies? What do you think?
Can't be questioned.
Coming down to the wire, their first Grand Slam. Who's going to hold their nerve better when it gets down to the crunch? 4-all, 5-all.
You pointed out how well Halep fights from behind, but suddenly, him probably being in front in this final set, different proposition.
You know, they both play better when they're behind. Wozniacki comes out playing the more aggressive player.
That was just a mishit first serve. All.
Break point, Wozniacki.
Deuce.
They're playing their best tennis now.
Wozniacki. Thank you.
After the medical TO, breaks back for all. Only had 3 breaks total in the first 2 sets. There have been 6 out of 8 games here in the final set. A lot of will shown by Wozniacki in that game.
And braveness on the forehand side.
And what's at stake in these next minutes? Not just the first Grand Slam title. We'll celebrate with whomever wins this title, but imagine how tough it'll be for the player with the runner-up trophy after this kind of a fight and all that's gone into it.
You're right. It's hard to imagine that somebody's going to lose this match. They're both winners. They're both playing some of their best tennis now at the late stages of the match.
If you're like me, the older you get, the sadder you get for the loser of a big match like this. You celebrate the champion's moment, but boy, is it tough on the other side. Tired, stressed, but back to a very reliable play which he can execute under pressure. That backhand down the line has been reliable.
This is when you get into another gear, though. When your body's maybe falling apart, maybe letting you down a little bit. Mentally, you make up for it. With focus, with determination.
Thank you.
What he must be feeling for his daughter out there, that's got to be brutal.
Let's first service.
Moments like this, you probably feel a lot more like a father than a coach, don't you?
Absolutely.
Game.
Wozniacki holds. She's been a game of this title. Must hold time for Simona Halep.
Time.
Pressing that ice towel against her head like a vice, trying to get some relief. Simona Halep held only once in this final set. That was in 2-3. Must hold to keep Halep alive for her first Grand Slam title.
Love 15.
Now, two tremendous fighters, the current #1 at this end, the former #1 at that end, and have achieved so much except for this, and now some of the most important points of their careers coming up.
Coach good.
Valjevic decisively overruling, and they'll replay the point.
Simona's just hearing it right now. She's going to
Miss Halep
challenge.
The left baseline. The ball's going.
Well, that's quite an overrule. I mean, she better be right. And she wasn't. Wow, that is an overrule. Halep using the challenge well.
13-15.
It's 30-15 instead of 15-30.
Glad she had a challenge left, boy.
You need to be sure if you're going to overrule in that situation.
Yeah.
Chair umpire just looked at the linesman and apologized, but she needs to apologize to everybody.
Absolutely brilliant. And it gives her championship point.
Thank you. Quiet, please.
life. A maiden major title in Melbourne. Well-deserved and well-earned. What a winding path she's taken up to the pinnacle of the sport.
I'm feeling it for her. She can't believe it. This is a young lady who's been on the tour for 12 years, and this has been her dream. She's worked hard. She's had some tough losses. And to come out and play a match like that, it's put a golden stamp on her career.
And there was always going to be a flip side. And you have to feel for Simona Halep, who gave everything she had and maybe more than she thought she had. Covered her face in the towel after that final game as Wozniacki, who was down a break in that final set, after the medical timeout, regrouped and closed it out in her 43rd major, her first major title. And Chrissy, that's not the trophy or the title or the $4 million Aussie dollars or the #1 next to her name. She'll reclaim that ranking. It's really what the achievement represents for her.
And I mean, for Simona Halep, it's going to be bitterly disappointing again. And she had everything thrown at her in this tournament but the kitchen sink. She had everything, every possible drama, but what a fighter. I have so much respect for her heart and her soul and the way she fought in this whole tournament. But Little Miss Sunshine, they call her, a very popular player all over the world. Does she deserve this or what?
All the work, the endless work, all the heartbreaking close calls, all the naysayers ignored. Caroline Wozniacki, a Grand Slam champion. Almost 3 hours to take care of a game. Simona Halep had found some energy, and Wozniacki was down 4-3. Halep within 6 points of taking this trophy, but break, hold, and break. And Halep heartbroken, no doubt.
I've never seen so many momentum changes in this whole tournament for the women. It's not only this match, the semifinals, so many close matches, so many exciting matches. And yes, Serena Williams isn't here. She's coming back next month. But you know what? These women are all getting stronger and tougher mentally. And women's tennis is looking good.
Boy, she becomes the 7th woman in the Open era to save match points. She was this close, an inch from being out of here. An ace that would have given an upset win to Fed. And she got through that and found her way to the finish line today. The trophy presentation is coming up momentarily. Billie Jean King will present it. Photographers are still getting in place, and you know, tennis is a sport where while the champion is celebrated, Chrissy, the runner-up has to bravely sit out there and watch it and get the second nicest trophy and give a speech, and it'll be difficult
humbling.
Moments again for Simona Halep.
Yeah, it's humbling when you're the runner-up and you're the finalist. Hopefully she'll have her day.
But tonight is Wozniacki's, and we're ready for the trophy. Soon.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you will all agree we've just witnessed one of the great Australian Open finals. Let's hear it for both of our players, Simona Halep and Caroline Wozniacki. 2 hours and 50 minutes out on court, and we have a first-time Grand Slam champion and a new world #1 in Caroline Wozniacki. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us here on stage for the presentation, can I acknowledge and welcome Tennis Australia President and Chair Jane Herdlicker, Chief Executive Officer of ANZ Mr Shane Elliott, and one of our major sponsors and member of the ANZ Tennis Hot Shots program, Ruby O'Brien. Please make our dignitaries welcome, ladies and gentlemen. And ladies and gentlemen, it has been 50 years since she won her Australian Open on the grass of Kooyong. Please put your hands together for 12-time Grand Slam champion. She's back here at the Australian Open, Billie Jean King. Welcome, Billie. So fabulous to have you here. The tournament has been richer for your presence. We thank you again. Also with us, ladies and gentlemen, Tournament Director Craig Tiley and Tournament Referee Wayne McEwen. Please acknowledge their wonderful work during the past 2 weeks. I'd now like to invite the President and Chair of Tennis Australia, Jane Herdlicker, to the microphone. Please make her welcome.
What a match. Clearly, we have two unbelievably talented women playing tonight who are both champions at heart. Simona, you fought with great tenacity. You're a fighter at the core, and nobody knew the outcome of the match until that very last point tonight. So we look forward to seeing you again. There's not a person in the stands who's not absolutely confident that we'll see you back here again in years to come. And Caroline, to you, what an extraordinary match tonight. You fought with everything you had, and at the end of the match, you have your first Grand Slam title. Congratulations. And while you fought hard tonight and you gave us the best grand final we could possibly have for a women's finals match, it wasn't just tonight, it's the thousands of hours that you've put into preparing for tonight. The career that you have behind you is a testament to how hard you work for the outcomes you achieve. And as a consequence of that, you are extraordinary role models for every girl watching tonight around the world, of the world of possibilities ahead of them. And a couple of thank yous to the team, Craig Tiley, and the many, many people who sit behind making an event like tonight the special event that it was. So thank you to all of the team. To the Victorian governments, past and present, who've made it possible for us to have the facilities that we enjoy and that every athlete participating in this event appreciate like no other. And to our partners, Kia, for 17 years, you've been behind us and supporting us to get done what we are doing here. Jacobs Creek, Rolex, Emirates. Without you, the event's not what it is tonight. And a very special thank you, Shane, to you and the team at ANZ for all that you do for grassroots tennis in Australia. There are thousands of children across this country who otherwise, without your support, would not be playing this great sport. So thank you on behalf of the children across Australia who depend on your support to play tennis every day. Congratulations again to Simona and Caroline. What a great match, and we look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you very much, Jane. I'd now like to invite Jane forward once again to make a special presentation to our chair umpire for our women's singles final tonight, umpiring her first Grand Slam final from Serbia, Marijana Veljovic. Congratulations, Marijana, and well done on a job very well done. I would now like to ask Ruby O'Brien of the ANZ Tennis Hot Shots program to come forward and present the cheque, along with Billie Jean King to present the trophies to our runner-up. Ladies and gentlemen, it goes without saying our runner-up this year is a magnificent tennis fighter. An ankle injury in the first round, down match points in the third round before winning 15-13 in the third. Down match points again in the semi-final, but still, here she was on the final Saturday of the tournament. Our runner-up and a great champion herself, please congratulate Simona Halep.
It's not easy to talk now, but first of all, I want to congratulate Caroline. She played amazing, and all the tournament. Many congrats also to your team, to your father, for what you have done this year since you play professional tennis. It's unbelievable. Congrats and good luck in the future. It's been a great tournament for me. I started not very well with an ankle injury, but I just wanted to give my best every match, which I did, and I'm really happy that I could play the final again in a Grand Slam. Of course, I'm sad I couldn't win today, but Caroline was better than me, and for sure I will fight, and I have many years ago, so hopefully I will face another challenge like today. Of course, to thank to my team, to each of them. It's really tough work every day. Thank you for being by my side every time, and also to my family, the people that are watching home. Sad that I couldn't make it the third time, but maybe the fourth time will be with luck. Thank you guys for supporting me every day here in this tournament. It was amazing, and all over the world I have great support. It's always nice to play in front of you, and hopefully I will see you next year in the same position. Thank you.
Congratulations to Simona. A fabulous fortnight, and we know that you will be back on the big stage of tennis. So now, ladies and gentlemen, to our 2018 Australian Open Women's Singles Champion. The first player from Denmark to win a Grand Slam title. Down match points in the second round, but survived to make her third Grand Slam final and for the first time become a Grand Slam champion. I'd like to call upon Billie Jean King to present the Daphne Ackhurst Memorial Trophy to our Australian Open champion for 2018, And back to #1 in the world, ladies and gentlemen, Caroline Wozniacki.
I'm sorry, I'm just taking a second here to hug Daphne. I've dreamt of this moment for so many years, and to be here today, it's a dream come true, and my voice is shaking. I never cry, but today it's a very emotional moment. I want to thank everyone in the tournament who makes this tournament happen, Craig and Wayne, and everyone else, the ball boys, the ball kids, the linesmen, the volunteers, everybody. You guys make this such a special tournament, and everyone loves to come back here and start the year here. It's incredible, so thank you. Obviously, I want to thank the sponsors as well, because without the sponsors and, of course, the fans have been incredible all week. And to be here today, feel the support, it really makes this moment special. So thank everybody for coming out and supporting both of us. It's been an incredible 2 weeks. Thank you. I also want to congratulate Simona. I know that today is a tough day. I'm sorry that I had to win today, but I'm sure we'll have many matches in the future. And it was an incredible match, incredible fight. And yeah, again, I'm sorry. Last but not least, I want to thank my team, my dad, who's always been there from day one since I was 7 years old and started playing tennis. You've coached me from the start, and we've been through ups and downs, but you've stood by my side every step of the way, so thank you. I want to thank my fiance who's here tonight. Without your support, I was a nervous wreck this morning. I just wanted to win so badly, but you managed to calm me down and just have me enjoy this moment. So thank you so much for being here and just having this special moment with me. I also want to thank everyone else in the box, Jake and Craig. You guys who were here warmed me up, gave positive vibes all 2 weeks, and even when I was down match points in the second round, you guys were still cheering loud, so thank you. I also want to thank my agent, Julian. He's in the box. Thank you for being here, and I'm hoping that finally I'm going to get that L cover. Anyways, I just thank you everyone for coming out today. This is such a special moment. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the formal part of our presentation. We acknowledge again the wonderful tournament of Simona Halep and congratulate our champion, Caroline Wozniacki. There'll now be a photo opportunity, and then Caroline will be invited to complete a lap of honour with the Daphne Ackhurst Memorial Trophy. A fabulous final. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Caroline Wozniacki on a first-name basis with that trophy. Just wanted to hug Daphne. But Chrissy, we see the grit in the fight, and she says, quote, "I never cry," but she was bound to shed tears in this moment. I mean, she waited a long time. 43rd major.
She did. She waited a long time. 12 years of a lot of heartbreak. And I tell you what, a lot of people doubted her, and a lot of people dubbed her the greatest player ever to live without winning a major title. And she proved them wrong. She always had that belief in herself. She's always said that. And what a wonderful moment. What a wonderful year. She's engaged. She won the Australian Open. Now she's #1 in the world. Things are looking good for Caroline.
That's all in the last 4 months. She became an aunt. Her brother and his wife gave birth to a son that was in October. The engagement was early November. Wins the year-end championship. That until now was her biggest title ever. And now the dream that every tennis player has. What are your memories of your very first of your 18 Grand Slam?
You know what? I was young. I hadn't been tested a lot. It came at a young age at 19. So, I didn't really feel great until I was 30 and 31 years old when I won my last 2. And I was older. I'd been through adversity. But Caroline Wozniacki, I'm just so glad to see somebody who's not. She doesn't blow you off the court, but she uses her brain and she uses finesse and she moves well and she's got a great temperament. And as I said before, a very popular player all throughout the world.
Tough and resilient. That was a good word I think that you used to set this match up, because resilience was required. Each player took a medical timeout. Wozniacki stopped to have that knee taped up. She won the next 3 games. This was the kind of final you guys expected. It was a lot of grinding points. There were 50 long rallies from the baseline. Halep had the edge the first couple of sets, but what we saw as the 3rd set unfolded, Wozniacki began to turn it around, and her grit in those long rallies is really what helped her get in that position.
And she's so patient, and she's so consistent, and she has so much great composure on the court. And at the right times in the 3rd set, she brought it on, and she went up to another level and started playing some aggressive tennis. And I just think it's wonderful. Nobody deserves to win a Grand Slam more than Caroline Wozniacki. And she's had so much experience. You know that she's going to build from this. She's not going to fizzle out and just be happy with winning this. Ever since the WTA championships, when she won Singapore, that's known as the 5th major. I think that gave her confidence to come and win her first Grand Slam here.
She twice apologized to Simona Halep in the presentation. We knew there was going to be a loser. We knew it was going to be a deeply disappointed player. For Halep, it's the 3rd Grand Slam loss and the 2nd in the last 12 months. The loss in Paris as the big favorite when she was in a winning position. She was the slight favorite going in today. She was within 6 points. At times it looked like she was going to find the energy and get to the finish line, but she walks off with the runner-up trophy, which is not nearly as fancy as Daphne there. And where does she go from here? How does she cope with this deep disappointment?
As I said before, she had everything thrown at her this tournament, and she
lots to be proud of.
So much to be proud of. I have so much respect for her. I have no doubt in my mind that she's going to win. That she's not going to win, or she's going to win. I have no doubt in my mind that she's going to win a Grand Slam, because the way she's playing and competing right now, she's taking ownership. She's playing within herself. She's playing a new brand of aggressive tennis. It's going to be bitterly disappointing for her, but guess what? It's the beginning of the year. It's January, and there are 3 more Grand Slams to be won, and she is in the mix. What about women's tennis? It's anybody's match now.
Yeah, Halep had to beat 2 former #1s to get into this match, and this former #1 now reclaims the ranking. And what a fabulous cap to an excellent women's tournament here. It really has been the story of Melbourne, the women's matches down here, and the drama provided, Chrissy.
It has. We've seen players dominate. We've seen rivalries, but this year we saw a wide open field with great quality women's tennis.
And you see a first-time Grand Slam champion. It's been great to share this tournament with you and everyone else here in the bunker. We got much more coverage ahead. Caroline Wozniacki's big night in Melbourne.
one of the great championship matches of the Australian Open. Caroline Wozniacki takes out Simona Halep in 3 sets in a time of 2 hours and 50 minutes. It was an absolute classic. Wozniacki earlier in the tournament saved 2 match points in the second round when she was down 5-1, 40-15 in a 3rd set. This veteran player finally getting her Grand Slam, and come Monday, she's back to world #1. She'll be #1 for the first time in 6 years. January 29th of 2012 was the last time Wozniacki was #1 in the world. That 6-year gap is the greatest of all time. She truly, truly deserved this one. I'm Chris McHenry, along with Bethany Maddox-Sands and Jason Goodall. Caroline Wozniacki just left the court. Everybody at home will appreciate this to the tune Sweet Caroline. That's what they were playing as she left Rod Laver Arena. It was an incredible match, and it was something you said, Bethany, as a colleague and a player in the locker room with both of these women over 10 years. We're thrilled for one, gutted for the other.
I mean, wow. First of all, what a match. If you were not on the edge of your seat for that one, you need to get your pulse checked. That was just some unreal tennis. And I've known Woz a long time, and I've never seen her cry. And those were tears of joy. And we said from the beginning, this was going to be career-defining moment for one, and it was going to be a devastating loss for the other. That was going to be the only sad part of this story. But what an amazing match. And to have this come from it, I'm still emotionally shaken from it. Like, I'm so happy for Woz and gutted for Halep.
Yeah, although for it to be career-defining, truly, the players had to step out of the comfort zone that defined their playing style. They had to be aggressive. That's something we don't see from either one, but it produced fantastic tennis.
It did, and they both had to dig so deep, not only today, but throughout the course of the championships, and that's what makes Caroline Wozniacki such a great champion. And I think also, had Simona managed to get her hands on the trophy, it would have said exactly the same about her as well. You know, I've enjoyed the 2 weeks so immensely because they've both played such great tennis.
This is backstage as Caroline seeing David Lee, her fiance, and there was her father who greeted her first. These are such incredible moments that we get to peek in on between player. She hasn't let that trophy go.
And she won't.
Yeah, she won't be letting go of it for a while.
Oh, she wrote an incredible piece last year, a letter to her younger self, and she talked about the car rides with her dad and the tournaments and how he said to her at a very young age, if you want to do this, let's go. It was in the Players Tribune, and it was really an insight into their relationship. And she was right. He has been there through thick and thin. People would encourage her to change her style, and he stuck with her. But it's really an incredible moment for one of the more popular players on tour.
Definitely, Caro is, and she has an amazing relationship with her family. And like you said, her dad has been with her the whole time. We've seen him on court coaching her. We've seen them fight. We've seen them happy. What an amazing moment for them to share.
Yeah, let's get to these highlights as it did begin at 3:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Just some perspective, it was 89 degrees and very humid when these players took the court. The conditions were absolutely Australian brutal.
Yeah, and I think it took them both by surprise, but it looked like Simona was the more nervous of the two initially. I thought Caroline stepped out of the blocks beautifully and really hit her straps, taking the ball nice and early, Bethany, willing to use the line so beautifully, and she got off to the best possible start.
Definitely. She was playing so aggressive against Simona, which is what she knew she had to do. And like you said, she was going down the line, which was almost kind of making Simona hesitate a little bit in her footwork, which we know is her strength. But kudos to Simona for coming back in that first set, coming back to 5-all after that start. And what an amazing first set.
Yeah, and we know that throughout the championships, whenever she's gone down, that's when she's played her best tennis. That's when she's played her most aggressive tennis. So the court position, really, really good. But I don't think there's anybody better, maybe Kerber when she's playing her very best tennis, than Wozniacki when she's at full stretch. Because it's the quality of shot making that we see in both. They're so willing to step up the court and take the ball out of the air whenever the opportunity arose.
She took the first set in the tiebreak. This is the start of the second set. It was 1-all.
Definitely, and here you can see Simona's just on top of the baseline, and she's the player willing to step up a little bit. Carol, sometimes when she's feeling good and relaxed, she backs up just a little bit, and right here we saw Simona kind of getting, it looked like the heat was getting to her a little bit, took a timeout.
And that helped her.
Yeah.
I think she was just able to kind of relax, get her head together a little bit more, and stop the momentum that Wozniacki had been able to create up to that point, and thereafter, it was all Halep.
Taking a look at a couple of long rallies. They had 25 rallies of at least 9 shots.
That was brutal tennis. I mean, especially in the conditions and especially at the tail end of a 2-week tournament. And in the third set, it looked like Halep was done and dusted. Remember, point for 3-love Wozniacki, and then an injury timeout, which worked in her favor.
Definitely. You could just sense the momentum shifts here in this third set. You just started to hear Simona grunt a little bit, and you thought she pulled ahead there. Woz obviously getting some treatment on her knee, and then she came back firing and playing some awesome shot-making ability like that.
That's where she broke back to make it 4-all.
And then towards the tail end of the match, you felt that Wozniacki got a little nervous off the forehand. Halep was really struggling with her second serve, but again, it was, as Chris Fowler suggested, just about guts and determination at the tail end of the match. I mean, this point was absolutely incredible. I think this was maybe the penultimate point in the match. It was simply incredible. What an angle from Wozniacki there. And then the presence of mind to go back behind Halep. That gave her match points.
Definitely. And again, Woz playing some unreal defense. She is known for just coming up with some shots when she's out by the boards. And just this emotion right here. I thought that whoever was going to win was going to react exactly like this. If it was Simona, it was going to be the same. She's gone through so much to make this final. Both players earned their way here. And today, the fairy tale ending was with Woz.
Again, Wozniacki had been to finals before, 2 in the U.S. Open, 2009 and 2014. That was the last we saw her in a Grand Slam final. By 2016 at the U.S. Open, she was number 74 and has climbed her way back. This was moments ago. That's our colleague and Simona Halep's coach, Darren Cahill, who has known Caroline for years through their work together with the Adidas program. And that's great for the sport. That is all class. When you look at the match, this is how close it was. Total points won, Caroline Wozniacki 110, Simona Halep 108 total points. That's how close it was. So
2-point difference.
There's no reason to believe Simona won't go on and finally get hers. And I think when she does, the reaction will be similar to the one Caroline received.
So many positives for her to take out the championships, but of course she won't be able to think about those now, but she will at some stage in the future. And Darren's done a fantastic job with her, particularly since Miami, where he's been able to change her attitude and make her a much more positive individual. Again, she won't be able to see too many positives out of losing that match today, but she will in the future, and there's no doubt in my mind she will win a